Hey, welcome back. I'm Doggone. Thank you for joining me. Good morning, son. Namaste. We are out in the desert. Creeper showdown. Not really, though. We're out in newly generated desert terrain. And I'm just kind of wandering out here to see what I can see. Looks kind of like a castle under a hill. I am kind of creeping to see if I can find underground abandoned strongholds and mine shafts. Really, I'm just exploring. I wish all this terrain was already generated, but the old computer is having some early morning, Sunday morning problems, apparently. Just like ye old dogware. When the last episode ended, that looks like a giant thing. When the last episode ended, I was opining about the difference between cunning people and those who think in terms of trying to figure out the deeper natures of our, the deeper truths, the more permanent, objective truths of our realities, the scientist type people. I deeply mistrust the cunning people. And I listen to what researchers have to say, people who have devoted their life into the edge of one particular field. Researcher type people often have intellects like mine. That is, I'm not at all a cunning person. I lose every argument that I'm in. And go figure, I teach argument and rhetoric now. In fact, I've learned so much from teaching my argument and rhetoric that it ain't even funny. But one of my biggest complaints in my marriage, my first and only marriage, was that my dear spouse was excellent at argument. Ooh, there's a cave system with a blizz, but no mine shaft, no stronghold or mine shaft. Okay. She was so good at winning arguments in the moment. She's what I would call she's very crafty. She's shrewd. Shrewd is a better word for her than crafty. Very smart in the moment. Very capable of winning a conversation, an argument in the moment. But she was also quite long-term smart. Smort? What was the word I was trying to figure out to say? She's also quite long-term smart. The thing that I most valued about her as a companion was that she, once in a while, we would kind of poke each other with something, and with thinking, long-term thinking, and her thoughts were always really interesting and good to listen to. So she was a combination of both, and I think that's really rare. I think if you're shrewd, if a person is shrewd, they tend to, you can be both. You can definitely be both. But I think those who are shrewd tend to rely on that and develop that talent to the detriment of deeper thinking, deeper research type thinking. And I can see that. I mean, from here I am just yakking away while I'm looking at the unloaded chunks, looking at the X-ray terrain here. Probably a better word for it. It is the first time it's generated, so there's that. We'll give it that, you know. Oh, I didn't realize I turned to 360 and was headed back, or 180. Headed back. Let's look at journey map again. Wow. Somehow I've managed to walk through a completely barren landscape. No structures at all. Left elbow's going to sleep. Anyway, all this to say, people who are the researcher type people seem to be in a state of shock over, not just over the presidential election outcome, but over the appointments, Trump's appointments to the various cabinets and positions that are open. And I've told you before, I'm not really a politico, in part because I can't get too absorbed in it because it hurts. There have been very few political appointments that I full-heartedly was happy about. Very, very few. I tell my students I am a flaming left-wing liberal. That's really not the case. I am a flaming, what's the word? Lover of long-term research, long-term thinking, and long-term building. Completely, I could almost care less about short-term results. I just need to see the long-term plan that supported by data, supported by hard-won evidence and data, and to see that we are working towards that long-term plan in some consistent way. And I need to know that that long-term plan that we're working towards is a rational one, is the right one. There is an underground abandoned mine shaft. The only long-term plan I can see out there that we are working towards as a nation is a gradual erosion of state-supported education. And this erosion seems to be due to, I guess, what we'd call Republican acts, both as stonewalling acts and as positively directed policy actions and appointments. It seems like we're ripping the guts out of our state-supported educational system, possibly with the intent of moving toward a privatized educational system. But I don't know, the effects of what we've done so far are just profoundly, I see them in my college classrooms, and I don't want to dishearten anybody, but education, the students are capable of so much more. They could be so much smarter, so much more understanding of the world around them than they are. And we talk about teachers not getting enough money. Well, it's a systemic issue. The entire aspect, that entire aspect of American culture is not getting enough money. Is not getting enough support of any kind. I'm pretty sure that I'm pretty sure that Republicans would be actively sabotaging and removing the foundations of Social Security if the elderly class, if the class of old people were as toothless and harmless as young people. Of course, young people can't vote, and if older people couldn't vote, I'm sure Social Security would be completely gone at the hands of the current iteration of the Republican Party. And I'm not, I didn't start this long thought process to go hammering on anybody or anything. I'm just thinking out loud with you. I'm no fan of the Democrat Party either, by no means. I've never been a fan of, like I said, I'm not a politico. I just see what I see and I talk about what I see. That's why, in part, why I'm a writer. I think that's what I enjoy the most about teaching. I love hearing positive interpretations of things that concern me. I don't really enjoy sharing doom and gloom. I don't enjoy reading about it. The Phil Plait opinion pieces that may have made me insomniac this morning after 3 hours of sleep. And I woke up, as my ex-wife would say, I woke up seeing movies in my head. In other words, the fears, the worries, and things are playing out like a movie, like drama TV. Anyway, I didn't set out to go casting aspersions towards anyone's political ideology, but I am quite concerned. It seems to me that we are having some a lot of too much shrewdness, too much short-term thinking, and I think the deeper ideology of conservatism is a class-driven, let the money stay with those who have made it up to this point kind of a thing. It's a very old thing. It's in part what we broke away from Britain to get away from. I think that element has been there for a long time. It's conservatism is nothing more than wanting things not to change or to change more slowly. And those who advocate conservatism are those who already have something that they're afraid of losing. Mostly it's money. But in some cases it's, I guess what people would call traditional cultural things, things that they have been taught to believe are tradition, like religion, like their, is that a ravine? Like their, I don't know, maybe some religious upbringing. And those religious upbringings are not necessarily what we would call conservative. Many of them are new, are dramatically evolved from what they used to be. I'm looking for diamond now, way down there. There's more desert. I don't really see anything worth. Looks like this little wilderness journey has been a bit of a bust. But the next plan is to go back and build a harvester and bring it back to the jungle and harvest as much jungle wood as we could possibly want. I want to see what that is. Stop loading the world. Is it an underground? Definitely an abandoned mine shaft. Stop right there. Yes, right down in there. I was trying to see if there was a stronghold. It looked a little bit different. Cheating dog. You cheating dog? I know. You know, sometimes you do. Everybody cheats, man. If you're not cheating, you're not trying. One of my softball pitchers told me that. I asked her how many cheat pitches she has, and she just gave me a little smile and went back to sucking on her lollipop. It's strange. I don't have nearly as much love from the people who seem to love me the most as a teacher are my softball players. That's weird to me. I don't know why, because I'm pretty hard on them. They have it hard to begin with, and I don't go easy on them. That's another way of saying it, I guess. There's a torch right there on that wall. You see that? Is that a skeleton, or is that a fence posts? I am going to put a journey map waypoint. Maybe this expedition hasn't been totally for naught. Let's go new. Abandoned Mine shaft. Off. Save. Close. Well, all this thinking is putting me into a even more worried state of mind, which I don't know what to do with. Oh, this is nice. Good. So it finally did load. Let's walk across to the savanna biome where these beautiful acacia trees are. I've yet to find a single one of my the people whom I follow, excuse me, the scientific blogs. Not just the. I'm talking about people individual researchers who blog casually about their own field of study and other fields of study they're interested in, like volcanology, seismology, paleontology, geology. I have yet to find a single one who is enthusiastic about this brave new or brave old world we're in today. I have yet to find a single one who's enthusiastic about it. Everyone is at least worried. And the best, the most positive responses I've seen from any of them is, don't worry, we're going to be okay. This is going to be a storm, but we've weathered storms before. That's the best response, positive responses I've seen. The responses go farther to the extreme, like, you know, the Chicken Little, the sky is falling kind of a thing, which wears thin after a while. Even if the sky is falling, the Chicken Little act wears thin. Which is one reason I was really fed up with the Hillary hate. It is really worn thin. I thought I was going to go around this way, but there's a little ocean in the way. There's some more of that mine shaft. We have plenty of mine shafts to explore out here, should we wish it. I find them very, very frustrating to explore because they turn so much. Journey map makes it easier, but they twist and turn so much. It's hard to know. You never know when you're done with it. The shrewd people, interestingly, it's the shrewd people who I was making a binary distinction earlier. Smart people versus shrewd people. Shrewd people who are very good at being smart in the moment, crafty or cunning in the moment, versus people who dedicate their lives to sort of in the quest for objective realities, sort of like scientific researchers do. I follow researchers because that's what I enjoy thinking about, the deep future and the deep past, and the objectivity of those things, the best definable truths, the best understandable truths that we can arrive at of those things. I love that kind of thinking. What I don't value is the shrewdness, the shrewd thinking, the crafty thinking. Okay, here's how we're going to make a buck today. You know, that's not the thing I really enjoy at all. And it seems to be endemic. The shrewd thinking seems to be endemic to the Trump. And his coterie. I just think it's very, very shrewd thinking is short-sighted thinking, and I want to see long-term plans, good positive plans. That looks like a chest right in the middle of a lava field. Chest on fire. A mine cart on fire. Anyway, yeah. Kind of a somber morning. A very early morning. Another thing I'm a bit concerned about is conservatism seems to be about making sure everyone thinks the same, everyone has the same ideology. That concerns me because there are very few things about conservative ideologies that I care one fig for. Religion is something, organized religion is something I think we should have grown out of by now. I think it's a child's thing, and patently absurd in just about in every way you can think of it. It's just absolutely patently absurd. Cult-like, in fact, in fact, every organized religion I've ever come across, nothing more than a cult that has just acquired momentum. It's a critical mass of followers. And I certainly don't think it's anything to base living around, much less a government system. And so I have learned over the years, although I understand, I have some dear people in my life who are conservative, who call themselves conservative and want things to go back to the golden things that they have in their mind, which they never really were that golden and wonderful ever. There's a lot that's glossed over in our memory, I think. Well, I have a lot of dear people who are conservatives. They're wrong. They're not right. And on that note, I think it's been 2 days. I'm going to sleep through this Minecraft night. We'll be headed back soon. See ya.